Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you are all attentive and ready for English 9. I'm your instructor Zia Hamid. I hope that you're doing well. My dear learners, in the previous lecture, lecture number 1, we discussed our parts of speech, and in that specifically, we dealt with our different types of nouns. Again, we are dealing with the same students' learning outcome today for lecture number 2, but now we are going to discuss about singular and plural nouns. Also, we are going to see that there are so many rules. By following those rules, we can easily and correctly use our singular and plural nouns. Let's read our students' learning outcome. And this is the competency of grammar.
लेक्चर 2.1 का फोल्डर बना
So our students' learning outcome is
वो खोलनी है सारी सिमुलेशन
demonstrate knowledge and application of parts of speech in oral and written communication in varying degrees of complexity. We will gain knowledge and then apply that knowledge of parts of speech, and there are so many different degrees of variation. Like there are so many subcategories and subclassification of parts of speech. There are some rules. So this is what we mean by degrees of complexity. Things get complex. Things get a little bit updated and you can say a little much difficult to understand, but do not worry about this. We can easily understand our topic, which is about singular and plural nouns, and this is a continuity of our lecture number 1. In the previous lecture before that, we had an introduction of all these lessons and our students' learning outcomes. Now, you can see that we added this vertical linkage. It means that this SLO is exactly taught in the previous grade 8. It gives you a perspective that you are continuing your learning and it is not something new.
Sorry, atomic structure.
Now, as we did in the previous lecture, yes, please, Noor Fatma, can you unmute? Can you mute yourself, please? Your mic is on.
हम ना भी है अब मेरे लेक्चर ध्यान दे नहीं बाकी लेक्चर में ध्यान देने
Thank you. Okay. So just that we did a very good activity. We learned a surah from the Holy Quran in the previous lecture number 1. And in the same way, we are going to cover 2 ayats from the Holy Quran. As you can see over here, not only that, we are going to learn their translation, because the best book is our Holy Quran, and we are also going to see that how we can relate this to our topic about singular and plural nouns. Now, this is from Surah Al-Baqarah verse 286. It says, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. And the second verse is from Surah Al-Anfal verse 29. It says, O believers, if you are mindful of Allah, He will grant you a decisive authority, absolve you of your sins, and forgive you. And Allah is the Lord of infinite bounty. Subhanallah, these different verses from different surahs we learned. Now, in the first one, Allah says that Allah only burdens a soul, gives difficulties and hardships to the soul that can actually bear it. A soul that has the capacity of bearing that problem. Other than that, a soul is not burdened. And in the second one, He says, if you are mindful of Allah, if you remember Him, then He will grant you a decisive authority. He will give you something bigger, some bigger authority. He will forgive all of your sins and forgive you, and Allah is the Lord of infinite bounty. It means Allah gives you so much more than you can ask for, and it is infinite. There is no end of Allah's mercy and gifts that He showers upon you. So, now, my question to you, everyone who is listening right now, can you identify What kind? Can you identify any singular noun in the first ayat's translation? Can somebody answer me that how did we use a singular noun in the first ayah?
सिमुलेशन प्ले हो रही
Okay.
सिमुलेशन
Soul. He's talking about a soul. And in the second one, it is, can you spot any plural noun?
उसको कह दो चाहे
Believers. Believers is a plural noun. The singular is believer.
जी ऑन करें
You can see that even
Load हो
if
गई है
we
session?
are learning Quran in the English language, if we are learning the translation, we can apply our knowledge and understand the meaning correctly. Okay. Yes, Allah is also a singular noun. That's very good. Good answers. So you can see that.
Also plural
ऑन कर दे उतनी देर में जरा
Sorry.
sin.
Sins.
हेलो अस्सलाम
Yes.
वालेकुम
Look, that's very good.
आवाज क्लियर है
Sins is also a plural noun. Anything else?
And Lord is a
माइक के बाद
singular.
Yes. That's very good. Okay. Good answers. Moving on. Now, you can come across so many different situations in where you can use a singular noun when it is needed, when it is required, and a plural noun when it is needed or required. So can you think of situations where you would use a singular noun instead of its plural noun or plural form? What would be that situation? If something is single in a single entity, we will use a singular noun. If something is more than one or in abundance, we will use a plural noun like believers. Believers are so many. It is more than one. Okay? So you can come up with so many different answers. Think about it, storm your brains a little bit, and so that you cannot forget that the need of using singular and plural nouns, they are they are different, and you cannot mix one with the other. Now, after this quick brainstorming session, I hope that you have understood it well. Now, here is an activity. What we are going to do is read this text and all these different sentences and point out the kind of noun, whether it's singular or plural. For example, some seals live on those beaches. Now, yes, seals is a plural noun,
And beaches are
beaches,
plural.
okay, and we used this determiner because we are dealing with a plural noun. That's why we used those, not these, this or that. And the fishermen in boats near shore caught many salmon. Fishermen, can you see there is no s in fishermen. We are using it because fisherman's plural is fishermen. So you don't have to look for s all the time. The plural of one word can be a changed word in the very same word. Man will be men. Okay? Man becomes men. You can see that all these are your plural nouns. Feet. Is it a singular noun or a plural noun? Can somebody tell me?
plural
Yeah, feet is plural. The singular of feet is foot. If they are 2 foot together, we call it feet. Okay. Clumps of seaweed float on the waves. Clumps is a plural noun. Waves is a plural noun. seaweed is singular. It can be a seaweed can be so much of seaweed, we call it with one word seaweed. So you can see that not only the S is required, but the different word can be changed also, and that will count as our plural noun. Now, our topic is on singular and plural nouns, identifying them, applying them in our speech and in our writing. So, moving on with singular nouns, now let's see what they are basically. Singular means they are single, like this pointer. I have a pointer in my hand, not pointers. Nouns are they are the nouns that refer to only one person, one place, or one thing. For example, a cat, a banana. In order to refer to it, we use the word, the article a. Okay? We cannot say, if there are more than one cat, we don't say a cats. We say cats. We remove the article a before it. So this indication of using a before a singular noun tells you in a very good way that it is a singular noun. Now let's talk about plural nouns. Plural means more than one. It can be more than two also. So plural nouns refer to more than one of something. It could be anything. There are regular and irregular plural nouns. So how many plural nouns, how many different kinds of plural nouns are there? Regular and irregular. We need to see what is the difference between these two, right? Okay. Car. If you add just an extra word, an extra letter S after the ending word, it becomes car. This is very regular, right? We see it all the time and we recognize it quickly. But man's plural is men, not mans. So this kind of plurals, all these kind of plural nouns are called irregular plural nouns because they are other than the regular plural nouns. So can anybody give me any other example of irregular plural noun?
Sir, foot and feet.
Yes, foot and its plural is feet. It is an irregular plural noun. Any other example, please?
Sir, person and people.
Yes, that's right. Nahida Nadeem, can you mute yourself? It's a bit distracted. Thank you. So you can name so many different regular plural nouns like chair, chairs, light, lights, camera, cameras. But foot will become feet. And what else? There are so many examples. Man will become men. Woman becomes women if there are more than one woman. So all these kind of plural nouns are irregular plural nouns. This is very simple. I hope that you get it. Now, when we are changing from singular noun into plural nouns, if we are addressing more than one things and we need to use the plural noun, so what would we do? We change our singular noun into plural nouns. Can we just change it by just putting the S or just changing A to E? No. There are so many other rules as well that you need to see. So let's see what are the rules that change our singular noun into plural nouns. Rule number 1 is very simple. You just add S at the end of the last letter at the end of the word. Girl will become girls just by adding S. So this is your rule number 1. You will remember this because it is very easy You don't need to put any extra effort into that. Desk will become desks. This is rule number 1. The plural of nouns is generally formed by adding s to the singular. Like girl, girls, desk, desks, just adding an extra s. Now, let's talk about our rule number 2. Now, nouns ending in s, sh or ch or x form the plural by adding es to the singular. Now, we sometimes add es at the end, like box. It's not boxs. We write it as boxes, boxes, because our rule says if any noun is ending with x, we add es. If any word, any plural noun is, any singular noun is ending in sh, we add es. And if something is ending in ch, then we also add es. So x, ch, sh, and what else? X. Whenever our words are ending with these words, we will not only add s but es. For example, brush becomes brushes because this is ending with sh. Box becomes boxes because this is ending with x. And what else? Branch will become branches because our word is ending with ch. So this is our rule number 2. I hope if somebody has any question till now, they can ask. Okay, moving on to rule number 3. Now, when our nouns are ending in o, also form the plural by adding es to the singular. If our noun is ending with o, in order to make it into a plural form, we will add es. Potato will become potatoes because our noun is ending with o. Buffalo becomes buffaloes. This rule is also very easy to remember. Now, rule number 4 says a few nouns ending in o merely add s. But there are some nouns where we just add s. When they are ending in o, we don't add es, we just add s. So this is breaking our previous rule, but you have to remember it. Photo becomes photos. Piano becomes pianos. Not es, but just simple s. How can you identify it? When you are reading a lot, when you are reading your stories, your books, your whatever text, you can see that same thing over and again. You will never see that photos spelling are photos. You have seen everywhere that photo plural is photos, not with es, just by s. So this is our rule number 4. Now, what if our word, our noun is ending in y? Now this will precede by a consonant, form their plural by changing y into I and adding es. Now when we have something that ends with y, we remove it, we omit y and we add I. And then after adding I, we add es. Pony will become ponies. You remove the y, add I and then es. Baby is babies in the plural form. So whenever your word is ending with y, just omit the y, add I, then you add your es. Now, just to engage you, can you give me any other example of such plural that when you, in the singular one, when you omit y, you just add ies? Can you give me any other example of this? Okay, moving on. Okay, rule number 5. Nouns ending in F or FE form their plural by changing F or FE into V. So if your words are ending with F and FE, you just remove that F and FE, just add V and then add ES. Knife will become knives, not knives. You remove FE, added V and then ES. Wolf becomes wolves. As simple. So, okay. Rule number 6 now. In the nouns dwarf, hoof, scarf, and wharf, take either S or VES in the plural. So if you are having any words that are ending with F, what are you going to do is remove the F, add V, and add ES. Scarf will become not scarves, but rather scarves. And hoof will become hooves. We removed F and then added V followed by ES. Simple? Clear? Okay. Rule 7 is when nouns ending in F and FE, you add S. So, you don't remove F, but rather you just add an S. This is also negating the previous rule, but this is also very important. There are a lot of different exceptions in the English language. You need to learn them over and again in order to quickly identify them. You can see that just adding simple S makes them into a plural noun. Okay, rule number 8 is when a few nouns form their plural by changing the inside vowel of the singular. Just as we talked about, men becomes. Okay, just mute. Okay, man will become men. What did we do? We changed the middle word and replaced it with E. Another example, foot becomes feet, goose becomes geese, and mouse will be mice. So you change the inside of the vowels. What are we changing? Are we changing any consonants? We are only changing vowels. And vowels are your A, E, I, O, and U sounds. And U letters. Now, next rule, rule number 9. Now, there are few nouns that form their plural by adding en to the singular. Up till now, we have been adding s, es, we are removing f to add ves, we are removing f to add ies, but now we are going to add just en at the end of our singular noun to form a plural noun. Ox is an animal, as you know. Now, if you want to plural that, if there are more than one oxes,
ना हमें नहीं पता
you will call it oxen. Child will become children, just adding an extra R and then adding your EN. So the plural of fish is already a plural. It's a fish, not fishes. Okay? The form fishes is less usual. This is correct. Adding ES after fish is okay, but it is not usually used. So the plural of fish is fish. Now there are some other rules that you need to see in order to convert the singular noun into plural noun effectively. So some nouns have singular and the plural alike. The singular and the plural nouns are the same. You don't need to make any changes. For example, sheep, deer, cod, trout, salmon, all these words that you are seeing over here, they are not to be changed. They can be acting as singular and plural nouns. The plural, if there is, you will say there is a herd of sheeps, herd of sheep, not sheeps. Now, Let's look at this example over here. This will clear it. The farmer counted 20 sheep in the field. Now he didn't say 20 sheeps. He just used the number 20 to tell us how many sheep are there, but they will only use the word sheep. So if you want to plural such words that are already in the plural form, you just add your numbers. Okay, which mic? Uh, which one? Ryan? Okay, Abiha is having a question.
Sir, but sometimes people say there are sheep, deer, like that.
You can call it.
Hundreds of students were there, like this.
Okay, so this is not very formal. We have to stick to the rules. That is a very nice question. I have hundreds of rupees or something like that. But you need to see that we are going to stick to the rules rather than saying that. Some people like sheeps. You just mention the number before the noun and that will do the work for you. Thank you. Okay. Now, moving on to our nouns that are only used in their plural. For example, names of instruments which have two parts forming a kind of a pair. So all these nouns are already in the plural form. They are made with a pair. For example, tongs. Have you seen the tongs? They are two tongs joined as one, and then that's why we call them tongs. Even if I have one in my hand, I'll still call it tongs because they are joined together and made into one. Let's say spectacles, your glasses. You're holding one pair of glasses for you, but you call them spectacles, not spectacle, because they're already made up of right and left part. Okay. Names of certain articles of dress like trousers, drawers, breeches, all those things, they are already in the plural form and you don't need to make them into more plural. You won't say trousers and then add es at the end. No. Trousers in itself is already a plural noun acting as a single noun. And certain nouns, annals, thanks, all these nouns, environs, nuptials, they are already in their plural form, so they don't need to be changed. Now, there are some nouns that are originally singular, but they are acting as plural nouns. Arms, riches, eaves, like riches do many things. So these nouns are originally singular, but they are now used as in the plural form and in the plural sense. So you don't do anything with them, but you can use them as your singular noun because you know they are singular, but they are acting like they are plural nouns. Now, all these following nouns, they look plural, but they are in fact singular. For example, the names of your subjects like mathematics, physics, electronics, etc. We know that if we are talking about mathematics, we are talking about this one subject which is named mathematics. So you don't need to add into it and you don't need to plural it. And there are names of some common diseases like measles, mumps. Now, they are looking like they are plural, but they will be acting as singular. There are names of some games like billiards or draughts. So they are already a singular noun. A game is a singular noun. Billiards is the name of a game. So you don't need to plural it because they are already used in the plural sense. Okay. Now, you know about collective nouns like family, army, or your class. They are your collective nouns. certain collective nouns, there are some collective nouns, though singular in form, are always used as plurals. They are singular, but they will be used as plurals. Let's just see. Poultry, cattle, vermin, people, gentry. Now they are singular, but you can see that all of them are used as plural. If you are using them, it means you will use your helping verbs accordingly, according to the plural form. And do you know about compound nouns? Nouns that nouns that are made up of two words coming together, they are your and they act as one, and they are your compound nouns. So compound nouns generally forms into plural by adding s to the principal word. For example, here is a word, commander in chief. How will you make plural of it? You'll say commanders in chief. You don't need to convert this into plural. You don't need to add anything into it. You just add s with the first words. Last letter, you just add s and that will do the work. You don't need to add extra anything into it. Coat of mail will be coats of mail. Son-in-law will be sons-in-law, not sons in laws. Just sons and then leave the rest of the word on its own. So this is when you want to convert your singular compound noun into plural compound nouns. Now, we have covered all these rules with some extra rules, whether they are collective, compound, whether they are acting as singular but they are plural, or they are plural but they act as singular, how we can add, uh, how we can convert any word that's ending in sh into plural, ch into plural, and words ending with x, how they can be converted into the plural form. So we have gone through all these rules. Now, you will get this PowerPoint presentation with your resources. So all you have to do is read this passage over here, correct the underlined singular and plural errors in the following paragraph. Now, this is full of errors. Can you spot one? Yes. Milks. It's incorrect. You don't add s with milks. You don't make it milks. It's only milk. There are a lot of different mistakes over here that you can correct according to the rules. Here is your worksheet, and in that you can find and correct the error in each of these sentences. They contain errors of singulars and plural nouns. You will see and you will say, oh, this is wrong. I need to correct it. Okay, for your homework, you write more singular nouns with their plurals in your notebook while keeping the above rules, the rules that we have learned in your view and in your mind. Okay, can you write 10 of them? If you can do this at your home right after this lesson, you can write them and you can follow the rules given. Your question bank, your worksheet, skill sheet, this PowerPoint presentation that you're seeing in front of you, and this lesson plan that is already included in the resources, you can get them in Chase's Academy's YouTube channels videos description. They are available. You can download them, take a print, solve them practically, and just uh, tell me that you have solved it, so we can look up into it, that how many things that you got correct and how many things are not correct and they need to be addressed. So thank you so much. This is all for today's video lesson of lecture 2 about singular and plural nouns. We addressed our student learning outcome. We saw varying degrees of complexities of parts of speech. We learned them, we applied them with their practice, with our knowledge and activities. So we are very much familiar now about singular and plural nouns and converting from one singular noun into plural noun. Do we have any question?
So can you
Any?
can also tell us all the paper pattern of the phrasal verb?
It will be shared. It will be shared with you right after this.
That how to solve the paper and which type of questions are there.
Okay, this
And
will be
then,
shared very soon,
yeah,
Abiya. Don't worry about this. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for listening and for being so patient. Allah Hafiz.